Welcome back, guys, to the Locked On Wizards podcast. It is your boy, Dialante Daniels and Ed Oliver. After a dub, but more importantly, Kristaps Porzingis is the newest Washington Wizard. Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans shipped out to Dallas. Kristaps Porzingis and a protected 2022 second-round pick in for the Wizards, along with Aaron Holiday for cash considerations. And Montrezl Harrell says goodbye and is headed to Charlotte for Vernon Carey, the return of Ish Smith, in a second round pick. This is an action-packed show, guys. Let's get right into it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Locked On Wizards podcast. It is your boys, Dialante Daniel and Ed Oliver. I want to thank you guys all for making Locked On Wizards your first listen each and every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Ed, I know the Wizards got a dub tonight, but man, Kristaps Porzingis, Spencer Dinwiddie gone, Davis Bertans gone, Montrezl Harrell gone, Ish Smith back. How are you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. It felt like Christmas when I saw some of those guys that were traded, to be honest with you. And I was very upset. So the day it started, because everybody was getting all antsy on Wizards social media, Wizards Twitter, we were like, Tommy, what's going on? It's 2 o'clock. Or it was basically like 30 minutes left before the trade deadline, and nothing was going on. So the first trade was made, Montrezl Harrell to the Hornets for Vernon Carey, Ish Smith in the second round pick. I was very upset. I was not happy with that trade at all initially. Of course, I thought about it more, and I was like, okay, this is an okay trade, but I did not think we were going to trade for Porzingis. So when I first saw that Montrezl trade, I was like, I'm not happy at all. The next thing I get a notification, or I think you messaged me saying that Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans were going to Dallas. And I was like, okay, they're going to Dallas. I'm happy that we're getting rid of Spencer and Bertans. Who we're going to get back in return. Next thing you know, somebody tweets, I think it was Mark Stein, he tweeted Kristaps Porzingis. I was like, we really just fleeced the Dallas Mavericks for Kristaps Porzingis. We got rid of 2 bad contracts and brought in a productive player that can play at an all-star level if he stays healthy and plays to his potential. The unicorn of Kristaps Porzingis, he's averaging, 19 and 8 right now. Just got to stay healthy. He's averaging 1.7 blocks per game. Right now, he's a little low with 28% from the three-point line, but Kristaps is a huge upgrade. It's kind of like a consolation prize for Sabonis. We struck out on Sabonis. We're bringing in Porzingis. This is a guy that can play. I think he can play really well next to Bradley Beal. I think he can do the pick and pop, pick and roll. Good finisher around the rim. He's 7'3". He's like the tallest Wizard we've had since like George Mirasan and Manu Bol. I think he's going to be a really good fit. The only thing is the injury concerns, and just we got to see how they fit, because he didn't work out with Luka, so that is something to look at too. And then also we can bring in other guys. So this is a move for next year. If we're going to build around Bradley Beal, which we are, we have no choice. There was a report that said that we're not going to trade Bradley Beal. We already know Tommy Sheppard, Ted Leon says they want to pay Brad. So the best thing you can do is bring in talent. And Kristaps, he brings in talent. He's going to bring in shooting. He's going to bring in scoring. He can hit turnaround jumpers. He can put the ball on the floor. He can dribble. He is a unicorn. He is a offensive scoring stretch big that I think really can help Bradley Beal. I think they can be a good duo, and then you can just bring some shooters around them. You let Rui and Denny develop. The fact that we didn't have to trade Rui and Denny, we didn't trade any first-round picks. We just gave up Davies and we gave up Spencer, and that is a heck of a deal by Tommy Sheppard. Now, Tommy Sheppard, he's not 100% off the hook because he did sign Spencer Dinwiddie. He did sign Davis Bertans. So those were bad contracts that he brought in. He just had to put out some fires. And I thought he did a heck of a job putting out those fires by bringing in a good all-star level guy. Kristaps Porzingis, a 7'3" big that can shoot threes and stretch the floor. Aaron Holiday, he traded him for cash considerations from the Suns. That was a fine trade by me. He got a second-round pick with the Trez deal. And then also Dallas sent us a second-round pick as well. So it's kind of like, I don't know what he told Mark Cuban in the front office over there, but Tommy, he definitely got a steal right there. I love what he did before the trade deadline.
Yeah, I know they were saying Mark Cuban and Dinwiddie. Like I
Right.
know
Yeah.
they're both into the
Yep.
cryptocurrency
I love
scene
it.
and all of that. So that's cool. That's great for us.
Mhm.
Thanks. I think this trade was a win for the Wizards. I mean, getting off when you get off 2 bad contracts and guys who just weren't producing for you, and you can bring back number one any kind of asset, but not just any kind, but the likes of Kristaps Porzingis and like you said, the health concerns is definitely there. It's definitely a thing for sure. I mean, he's currently hurt right now. What was it, a bone bruise?
Yeah. It is a
So yeah, so that's definitely a concern for sure. Can he stay healthy? That will always be the main question with Kristaps Porzingis. It's never a talent question. It's never a talent question. It's always just health. Can he stay healthy? Because if he's on the court, he produces. I'm excited about it. You know, I'm definitely excited about the trade. I mean, I was at work when it happened. I mean, I thought some trades were going to happen. I didn't expect the likes of Kristaps Porzingis. I thought once Sabonis was gone, I didn't think the Wizards were going to get Grant. I thought they were just going to move some vets, maybe do some consolidation trades. But this is as good as it gets for the Wizards, as good as they could have got. I mean, I don't know what more you could have asked for in return for the combination of Davis Bertans and Spencer Dinwiddie. It's like you hear everybody who listens to the show here's how bad we've been talking about them for like the last couple of months. So I mean, that's a win within itself. Now, I will say Tommy Sheppard cannot get into the habit of having to clean up his own messes by signing guys that ends up to be bad contracts and having to get rid of those said bad contracts that he signed these players to. He cannot let that become a habit. That happened with Ernie Grunfeld. But all in all, man, I'm really happy with it. So grade for this. Let me start. Grade for the Porzingis trade. Let's do individuals.
Okay, so you do a Latvian for a Latvian trade, and I got to give it an A, man. I wanted Dinwiddie out. I just wanted to move on from Dinwiddie so bad. And the game tonight was kind of telling. It really was. We're going to talk about the game later, which is kind of not the most important thing that happened today, of course. But the game tonight was kind of telling. You saw ball movement, man. With Spencer Dinwiddie, you just didn't get that. You got grenades at the end of the shot clock, sidestep threes. He just wasn't himself. He was a shell of himself. Teammates not liking him. Nothing against Trez. It looks like there was a couple chemistry issues there. Fights with KCP. Davies fighting with Denny. So just the fact that we consolidated and got those bad contracts there. Now I know some of the mistakes that Tommy did make, it may affect his grade as well, but I think getting Porzingis, I gotta give it an A minus. The only bashing I will give it really is that Porzingis has been injury prone, and we just brought in a guy who came off ACL injury in Dinwiddie. That's the only gripe I can have with. But honestly, I've been giving Tommy a hard time. I really have. I had a tweet saying that he's been no better than Ernie. I might have overreacted a little bit just because of some of the signings he made with Dinwiddie and Bertans. And some of the draft picks, they haven't panned out to be good assets to bring in other, teams kind of told us what our assets are because, they took Tyrese Halliburton over some of the guys that we had, but that's another story. I'm going to give it an A, man. To get off, we both thought Bertans was an untradeable contract. We thought we were going to have to attach a first-round pick just to move on from Davis Bertans. So the fact that you were able to trade Dinwiddie and Bertans for a productive player that can play at an all-star level that did make an all-star and Kristaps Porzingis that, was really good with the Knicks and it was good still with the Mavericks, but hasn't played up to the hype or to the expectations. I'm going to give it an A. I'll give it an A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give it an A too. Just looking outside of, Tommy Sheppard signed those contracts, blah, blah, blah. I mean, to get off 2 contracts that are bad and to get an all-star caliber player from it, I mean, albeit with risk potentially attached. I mean, it's a win. I don't see it as anything other than a win. I think the Wizards came out on top in this trade. I don't know, maybe Mavericks fans feel differently, but I don't honestly, like, even if I was a Mavericks fan, I would have trouble viewing how Dinwiddie and Bertans is really helping them become a better team when it comes to playoff time. But that's just me. I mean, I could just be wrong. They could feel differently. I would give it an A too, 100%. I would definitely give it an A. Montrezl Harrell, and I guess you could throw in the Aaron Holiday trade. What's your letter grades for that?
For Trez, Aaron Holiday, I'm fine with it. I wish we could get a pick back, or maybe Jalen. We don't really need Jalen Smith, to be honest. I would love to see him here. Vernon Carey, I'm not really intrigued to see him either. I know he was a second round pick. He went to Duke, and he was really good at Duke as well. But I'm not really intrigued to see him. No knock against him. I just think we have a lot of bigs already, and I want to see Gafford grow and develop. So I don't want to see any more bigs come in and take more playing time away from Gafford. We already got Thomas Bryant too. So that trade, the Trez trade, I didn't like the return. Ish Smith, a Wizards legend. That's another point guard that can't really shoot the three. I know he can change the pace and push the pace and get other guys involved. But I'm not really high on bringing back Ish. And I love Ish. No knock against Ish, but not really high on bringing him back. But I know we just had to unload Montrezl. We just had to let him go. We did end up getting a second round pick, so I give that like a B minus, B plus. And then the Suns grade, the Suns trade is just, I give it an A. I have no problem because you just had to let Aaron Holiday go.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Holiday is one of those you just, especially after you brought Ish in, you're just looking to offload Aaron Holiday. So, I mean, that's, you can say A, B, whatever you want to grade it. The Montrezl Harrell trade, I'd say this is like a B. The return is, but you got a second round pick out of it. So I'm fine with that. For an expiring contract in Trez, maybe some people feel like maybe they could have got more for him, but who knows? So A, we both agree. A for Porzingis. A, or whatever you want to say, for Aaron Holiday and the cash considerations. And B for B minus, B plus for Montrezl Harrell trade. I think those are consistent grades right there. Of course, guys, always let us know. Add us on Twitter, YouTube section. Let us know how you guys feel about that as well. But before we talk about this Nets game a little bit, Ed, and that W, we do have a message from our friends over at BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues its march through the playoffs right to the big game in a couple weeks. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the new amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline, where the game starts. Also, guys, it's Super Week, brought to you by Get Upside, and there's no better place to get coverage of the big game than the Locked On NFL podcast. Locked On Bengals and Locked On Rams are in LA all week covering the big game. So, Ed, before we get into talking about the Nets game, really quick, I do want to ask you, so what would your plan be for the Wizards moving forward into next season? Do you want to kind of see them kind of mini tank? You're a big Jaden Ivey guy. How would you proceed with the rest of the season?
It's a good question because I think, Bradley Beal tweeted he had surgery today. He was asleep the whole time. He probably knew this was going to happen. I mean, he talks to Tommy all and Brad basically is the GM too. So I think this is a move that will make Bradley Beal stay. He was probably going to stay anyway just because he knows he's going to get that 5-year, $242 million contract. But thinking about this too in the big picture, we talked about them copying, being a copycat league. It's a copycat league. Now they're copying the Bulls. They're copying kind of what the Raptors did as well. But I would say kind of really the Bulls bringing like a Vucevic. So Porzingis is supposed to be our Vucevic. Bradley Beal is the Levine of the team or whatever. So they're going to build around him and do it that way. We just got to get a point guard. The Bulls got their Lonzo Ball. We got to get our point guard that can shoot threes. They got DeMar DeRozan. I don't see how we can get a DeMar. Maybe Kuz could be similar to that. He can shoot threes. He would be our small forward. The Bulls got a Caruso, so we just need another 3-and-D guy. Or Rui and Denny could develop. They look really good tonight. But as the future for the rest of the season, and my team tank or just try to win games, Of course, I'd rather get the highest pick. I'd rather get that lottery pick, especially looking at the draft. I love Jaden Ivey. I think he should be the first pick to draft. I like Jabari Smith is good. Chet Holmgren's good. Paolo Bacaro from Duke is good. There's some really, really good young talent out there. But for the Wizards, they need a point guard really bad. And I think Jaden Ivey fits. He checks the box on everything. He can shoot threes. He can dunk on you. He can put the ball on the floor. He can go coast to coast. He can defend. I think he would be a perfect match for the Washington Wizards. But honestly, wherever top 5, if we get pick 4, hopefully it's not pick 9. If it's like pick 4, I think you just go BPA, you go best player available, get any of those guys, and they will help. I mean, like I said, with the Raptors, they ended up getting Scotty Barnes. They kind of took a tank year. The Warriors kind of took a tank year too. Got Kuminga, Moses Moody. Look at their young talent helping them right now. So I think there's an opportunity for the Wizards just to bring in more talent. Or like we discussed before, if we get a really high pick, they might try and trade it for another star to pair with Bradley Beal and Porzingis and make it like a big 3. I don't know who would be available. Maybe DeJounte Murray from the Spurs. I mean, there's just so many avenues to talk about. Just to answer your question, I went on a tangent. But I'd rather see, of course, the young guys play. I'm not going to call it tanking, but I would say just try to get positioned for the best pick in the draft. Just try to give yourself the best lottery odds. I'll say that. I'll answer it that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should. I want to see the young guys play, fight like they did tonight. And if they lose, so be it. I'm not mad at it. I would like a good pick in the draft too, because I think that can help. That can help you if you get a Jaden Ivey. Maybe you luck up and get the number 1 pick somehow, because I don't think they're going to have the worst odds. They're not going to beat out the Pistons or the Magic, I don't think. But, that's possible. You never know. The Pelicans were like the 9th. They had the 9th odds or something like that right behind us when they got Zion and lucked up and got the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. So it's always possible. You never know. I mean, getting a guy like Jaden Ivey, that really helps. Jabari Smith, I think, is going to be a really good player. He's already so good at like 19. It's a lot of young talent that can help the team. So I'm not saying tank, like, just suck purposefully, but get the young guys in there, like Cassius Winston tonight. We seen him get some PT. We're going to be talking about the game, but that's how I would go with it. Try to get the best player available, get the best possible lottery odds, and proceed from there and see what you can do. Maybe somebody becomes available like Murray, like you said. Maybe the Spurs are interested in getting that first round pick from you. That's a nice top pick. And now you're looking at DeJounte Murray, who's a potential triple-double guy at the 1, and it works out like that. But who knows? But me and you are pretty much in agreement there for sure on how the Wizards should progress with the remaining games of the season. What were like 29 left? 29 left?
Not many left. Yeah, the last game of the year is April 10th. But one more guy I will add too. Like you look at the Cavs, they drafted Evan Mobley, and you look how he really pushed them. I mean, they brought in Jared Allen, drafted Darius Garland the year before. And not every rookie's going to come in and just be on fire like an Evan Mobley or like a Scotty Barnes.
And they were top picks.
Right. They were top 5 picks. But this draft, it looks like you watch Jaden Ivey, you watch Ben Carroll from Duke, you watch AJ Griffin from Duke, you watch so many guys, Chet Holmgren. These guys can help. They will help. And I think they could have a Scotty Barnes or a Evan Mobley type impact.
Yeah, 100%. I think you try to get them best lottery odds, man, because there's some talent down there that can help your team going into next season, whether it's through trade or whether it's through playing on the court, because they're just talented. But before we get into the Nets game, guys, we do have a message from our friends.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big business. So upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. Like My Shopify powers millions of businesses from first sale to full scale. Reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. Gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. More than a store, Shopify grows with you. This is Possibility powered by Shopify. Go to shopify.com/LockedOnNBA, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/LockedOnNBA right now. Shopify.com/LockedOnNBA. This episode is also brought to you by Built Bar. This is the time of year that I've pretty much given up on all my New Year's resolutions, but not this year. I'm sticking to my resolution to eat right thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not really a resolution because I actually enjoy eating them. My favorite flavor is cookies and cream. Have you tried the Puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallow. They're not just a protein bar. They are a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, Puffs included 100% real chocolate. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bars with these. They are better. A typical candy bar can be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. At Built Bar, they are all about the taste. They make it taste delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but they pull it off every time. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. All right, D. So what were your main takeaways from the dub tonight?
The energy level. The guys look different. And looking at post-game comments, KCP said the vibe was different tonight. It's an exact quote. And you could tell that the vibe was different tonight. He also said that player egos were to blame for why the Wizards' initial roster this season was not successful. He says that the players were complaining about roles and minutes. And, I mean, you could tell. We've been saying it. Guys looked like they didn't even like each other. They were fighting each other more than they were fighting the opposition. Right. It just looked bad. I mean, Bradley Beal doing his one-on-one with Chris Miller, he said there was egos and agendas, and it was just nasty. It was ugly. Things needed to be moved. Guys needed to be moved, and it seems like they moved those guys who were potentially the problems out of the locker room. You know, so the team looked fun. They looked like they was having fun, and they looked like they were vibing out tonight, man. And I can see it through the screen. And the energy in the arena was great tonight. So that's definitely my main takeaway right there. The vibe was 100% different.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on this. I mean, you can see West, even in the interview on the sidelines, when the beat reporter from TNT interviews West, like in between the corner, his face just looked brighter. He looked happier. I mean, there obviously was something going on in the locker room, like KCP said. We already know that. A lot of egos. Some guys just really weren't listening to him at all. They tuned him out, kind of like he did. He did lose some of the guys in the locker room. He really did, and it looks like all these guys are buying in. They're listening. Denny wants to learn and listen. Rui wants to learn and listen. Kispert, even though he didn't shoot the ball well, he had a lot of effort. You know, he was there on the double team on Kyrie at the last play of the game that we barely let them get a shot off for that three. They airballed a three. I mean, I know we all wanted them to foul. I know you wanted them to foul in that last shot, but just the effort and ball movement and just having their hands in the passing lane, it was refreshing. It was different. I mean, 7 guys in double figures, 29 assists tonight. Kyle Kuzma, first career triple-double. I love the hustle. Thomas Bryant provided good minutes. Neto provided. Anthony Gill provided good minutes. So he might be my X factor, to be honest with you. He's a guy that never gets plans. Like Cassius Winston, you brought him up earlier. He hit a three. I mean, it was a team effort. Kyrie, of course, he did whatever he felt like doing sometimes. But, you know, we threw multiple guys at him. Denny guarded him. Denny played at the point guard position as well, too. But I guess just in a general take on the game, like I said, like we both said, just ball movement. Everybody ate tonight. Like I said, 29 assists. I want to see how many turnovers. We had 12 turnovers, which is not bad at all. And the ball didn't stick. 46 points in the paint as well. Once again, kind of average from the three-point line. So that didn't really matter. But once again, bench points and 7 guys in double figures. It was just talent. Ball movement. When you play hard, you communicate on defense and move the ball. It doesn't matter about the talent level, but when guys are, you know, working as a unit, it kind of showed tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I enjoyed watching them, and I think a lot of fans enjoyed watching them for the first time in a little while. You know, I didn't want to turn the TV off, and I wasn't sick of looking at him. So that's really good. I think I'm happy that the young guys got to play. The only thing I would say is I wish Rui Hachimura was in that closing lineup. I wish he was out there. But
Right.
Anthony Gill, I mean, he was out there playing hard, 15 points. I think that's a career high for him. He played really well. Rui Hachimura was having a really good game. Denny Avdia had a really good game. I think he went on like a personal 7-0 run. He had like a off the dribble midi or something like that in there. I mean, he played really well. It was nice to see Cassius Winston to get some minutes. I don't remember the last time I see him on the court getting some NBA minutes, even if it was in garbage time. You know, Howell Neto had a really good game. He had one of those games where he was playing really good. Corey Kispert didn't shoot the ball well at all, but he had 6 boards. So getting on the boards, that's what you like to see. He was a plus 10. I know some people don't care about that plus minus. Then Kyle Kuzma, first triple-double in his career. Didn't have to yell at a teammate about not shooting the ball tonight. You know, he got it done, 15, 13, and 10. So I'm happy for him. And they got it in a dub. So I know that's even better for him, man. It was the shot distribution was good. They moved the ball. It was a nice all-around team win tonight.
Definitely. Everybody eats. It was a good showing on TNT. I love how Denny, he made a hook shot with his left hand on Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
He had a 1-1. I mean, this is what we talk about. They can try things, and if they make mistakes, it's kind of like, who cares? You know, let Rui go out there and make some mistakes. Let Denny go out there and make some mistakes. Experiment. Let him run the point guard position. Let him get better at using his left hand dribbling the ball, so that, you know, he doesn't have to worry about somebody benching him or, you know, taking him out of the game. Denny had 32 minutes tonight. Rui had 22 minutes tonight, which I don't think was enough.
Yeah.
Kind of like you were saying. I thought he could have played more. And we played, how many guys did we put tonight? 1, 2, 9 guys. Yeah, instead of playing 12, 13, trying to showcase guys. I'm so happy I don't have to hear that showcase word anymore. I'm just happy. And it's crazy because we talked about the showcasing, and they showcased terribly. And Tommy was still able to, you know, Bertans was a DNP, like, 10 games in a row or 5 games in a row before the trade deadline, and we were still able to move him to the Mavericks. Spencer Dinwiddie, his shooting percentages were like 20% from the field, and we were trying to showcase him, and Montrezl was probably the best out of the showcasing. So, yeah, I do have to give Tommy some, like we both said, Tommy started the fire, but he was able to, you know, bring out the fire hydrant or bring out whatever and take the flames out. But, yeah, all around good win. I have nothing bad to say about the guys, except for some of the rebounding and letting Blake Griffin get some easy buckets. That's like the only negative I'll say. I thought we let them get a little. And then the refs, it
was an offensive foul on Howell Neto, but that was terrible. It was awful. And then I think Blake inbounded it fast or something happened, and West didn't get a chance to challenge it because it would have been an easy overturn.
Yeah, and then the Cam Thomas was kind of debated where he flailed his leg out. And KCP kind of like ran like next to him. So I thought that was kind of some questionable calls from the ref. But that's like the only negative thing I have to say about the game.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, good win. You know, I think it was a good win for the guys. They low key could go, I mean, potentially on a little streak. I mean, they got the Kings next. After the Kings, they have Detroit, winnable. Indiana, winnable. Brooklyn, depending on what's going on there, possibly winnable again. So it's definitely some games where you look at it and it's not like, oh yeah, that's an automatic L. They got an opportunity to, you know, get a couple wins, possibly win 2 in a row or so. So that's good. That's all we want to see. The young guys go out there, the young guys hoop, the guys play with effort, play with energy, and they look, you know, revived tonight. They look revived. So it was a really good showing. Trade deadline craziness. I mean, got a dub to end the night. I'd say it was a dub in general for the Wizards today. A dub in general, a dub in the game, and a dub in general for the trade deadline as well. Double dubs for the Wizards today, I would say.
Right. Yeah, it was a good day for the Wiz. I don't know if it's a 50% off Papa John's or whatever, but yeah, I mean, if I had to do, and then they played the Spurs too, who have a losing record. So for the people who do want to tank, it might be a little harder than what people think because the Kings are 21-36, the Pistons are 12-43, the Pacers are basically in tank mode too. They don't want to win. And the Nets, we play the Nets at the net. So, yeah, like you said, we don't know who's going to be there available. Kyrie won't be available because it's a game in Brooklyn. And then the Spurs, too, they're 20-35. So this actually is an opportunity for the Wizards to win a couple of games here. Looking at the standings, too, we're one game out of the play-in spot. Like I said, I'm team get the better pick. But if the young guys go out there and win, I'll be happy for the young guys. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, and before we end it off, player of the game, X Factor.
I'm gonna go with Kuz getting a triple dub. Got to give it to him for his first career triple double. And then X Factor is tough. I mean, you could go with Neto, you could go with Denny, you could go with Anthony Gill, and that's the good thing about this team win. There's multiple guys. Everybody eats. This is multiple guys that could be the X Factor. Where the last couple games we've been blown up by 30, and we're just like, yeah, we're just not going to do it. But I'm gonna go with Anthony Gill because he doesn't get a lot of shine, So I'm gonna give him some credit. A guy that he's been collecting DMPs because he's just he's our last man in the rotation. So for him to step up and be ready to play, I got to give him his credit. 15 points, and I thought he played pretty well defensively too.
Yeah, I got the same exact thing as you. I got Kyle Kuzma, obviously, first career trip dub, player of the game for him. I'll give him that credit. And then X Factor is Anthony Gill, like you said, because he don't get a lot of shine. That's not a guy we talk about often. It's not a guy we talk about a lot. So he came off the bench, Gafford and protocols. I mean, he put in work. So I definitely X Factor 100%. I'll give to him career high in points for him. So it was a good day. Good day for both those guys, Kuzma and Gill. But guys, once again, I want to thank you all for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. Well, guys, double dubs, dub trade deadline, dub in the game. And I think it's safe to say we can end it off with a dub, my man. End it off with a dub. Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you guys for watching. Listen, make sure you guys sub up on YouTube, hit the notification bell. Hell to the Wizards.